What is up, OSM? So good to see everyone for this Wednesday night live. I guess this is summer now. So we're here. We have arrived. Spring break is over. School is out. Some people actually got their diplomas today, so congratulations. You did it again. Go team. Just again, so glad to see everyone. I know that as always, see this right here? Real life, right there. So for those of you who don't know at home what just happened, I just went active on my screen left to me. And I look good, all right? Again, it's good to see everyone, and we expect to see tons of things happen over this summer as everything kind of relaxes and all the good stuff that goes along with that. Couple of announcements. So this weekend we get to officially meet all of us. So how awesome is that to get together for church? So we'll be 10:30 in the main auditorium, and we get to worship together, and so that will be the beginning of a lot of us getting together as a ministry as well, and we're excited. Coming up at the end of this month, actually, we have what we were going to do as camp. We're going to have mission projects and worship time, so I guess we could call it a youth revival if that's what you want to call it. No big giant tent, for those of you who understand that. But we will be meeting up here. We're just excited about it, and it's just an opportunity for all of us to get together, invite your friends to come and to worship and to be a part of just serving our community. Zoom. So tomorrow night, we will get back to at least one more Zoom meeting. For those of you, again, that are at home, you're Zoomed out. I assure you, that makes two of us, okay? Three, and I'm betting more. But anyway, it's been great to even meet like that. So tomorrow will be Zoom Survivor. All right, it's going to be our last one that we're going to do. We'll give away some prizes. We'll see who can make it to the end. We'll see what 8th grader can beat a senior this time. That was amazing, by the way. Props. Now, coming up, headlines. Over the weekend, for those of you guys who know this, over the weekend, Doug Hurley and Bob, I don't know his last name, so we're just going to go with Bob. They made history. SpaceX sent 2 people into space. It's the first time since 2011 that the United States has launched somebody into space from our own soil. That's amazing. Well done. Why does that make our headlines? Because I'm tired of talking about coronavirus. That's why. And it segues into, remember a couple weeks ago when I said that there were aliens and there was like confirmed alien cases? The government came out. It was so weird. It was so weird in our country that the government actually said, yeah, there was a UFO, okay? And so if you'll notice that there has been 0 UFOs since then. Why is this headline news? The more I've thought about it, and even thinking about it today, I've come to this conclusion that those people, those aliens, I don't know if they were people or not, but they came to the earth on vacation. They found some pretty awesome stuff and thought, I think I want to buy some property there. And then they met the neighbors and split. That's what happened. Not only did they split, they convinced 2 people to go ahead and leave the planet with them. So here we are. Doug, Bob, you may be the smartest people that have ever existed. Way to leave, buddy. Way to leave the dumpster fire as you found it, okay? So coming up tomorrow night, our Zoom Survivor. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there for those of you that are watching, whatever platform that you're on, 9 o'clock sharp tonight. I want you to email me. All right, so this is the same as it was last time. 9 o'clock sharp tonight. Email me at Donnie, DONNIE, at oasissbc.com and email me found it. All right, and what you're going to get, first 3 people to send it are going to find 3 immunities that will yield something in our meeting tomorrow night. So, okay, 9 o'clock tonight sharp. First 3 people to email me at Donnie at Oasis SBC are going to win an immunity. So we're going to backtrack just a little bit, talking about crazy neighbors. I have some guests that I need to introduce to you. These people that I'm about to introduce,
You already got them ruffled.
folks, you just don't understand the crowd that I'm about to introduce. These are the wives of the pastors here at this church. The internet will never be the same after this night. You're there, okay? So I'm going to ask the pastors' wives to come out. We're actually missing one. Cammie Mason couldn't make it tonight. She, what was she doing? She making cigars tonight? That's what that is?
That's what I heard.
Yep.
Sorry,
Not my
Cammie,
words. That's
I
what.
don't
Sorry.
know.
Yeah. That's what the text said. I don't know. Cammie Mason is the reason that they put no smoking in the bathroom on airplanes. Yet no one's commented about it yet. It's great. So glad you guys are here. So to introduce everyone from my left, your right, this is Maria Spear over here. This is our head pastor wife. We've had Bradley on here a couple times, and you completely understand just based on that. This is Jeannie Lauren or Alyssa, depends on what country you're from or what alias that she's going under. This is our worship pastor's wife. Known her for a long time.
I understand.
I'm just going to I call her Jeannie Lauren or Jarin, and for those of you guys who don't know what that is, that's fine. You don't need to. Oh, there's Cammie. She just posted that she's watching. I'm sorry, I didn't know the microphone was on. That's my fault.
Yeah, that don't fly.
Yeah, it doesn't. The good news is there's only 6 other people that saw it, so that's good, right? To my right, this is Christy Conger. Yes, she shares my last name. Yeah, you married the sketchiest one. She is a youth pastor's wife. She's been rolling her eyes for a long, long time. It's just true. And a boy mom. Also sketchy. Lydia Handon, right over there. She's actually been on here before. She leads worship for us sometimes in the student ministry, and she is a college pastor wife. Ben Handon, who uses carpet to wipe sometimes. This is who brings stability to that. Okay?
You can try.
That's right. Man, that's an uphill battle. All right, so going around, I'm going to ask the standard question, would you use as a toilet paper substitute? Even though we are past that, one would hope, but we just never know. We haven't got a definitive answer of when the Rona might come back, so we just got to brace for impact, all right? So Maria, we'll start over here. What is an acceptable go-to for your number 2?
This crosses so many boundaries.
What are boundaries? There's no boundaries tonight.
We had Marines in here, so
Right? No,
that toilet was
I
flush.
feel like there's not an acceptable substitute.
Right.
However, if you're out in the woods or something, I mean, leaves, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's so funny because yours, I'm sure you're probably going to say, I don't know what you're going to say actually, but yours so far, this entire run, aside from the college student, Jesse, yours has been, y'all have been like the two, oh, and Troy. You've been maybe the most civilized that I've heard of all of them.
I mean,
So, Jesse was all sophisticated. He's like a bidet. Not bad, man. All right, world traveler.
I didn't know that was an option.
That's actually true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Bidet, that's smart.
Yeah, Troy was all like, man, I'm getting in the shower. You know? Which I thought about that
Every
earlier.
time?
I wish that I would have made some smart aleck comment about, like,
What?
buddy, why do you need a shower?
What about when you're at work, though?
Don't use the fiber. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a sink.
There's just
Oh.
and now we've crossed the line.
Boundaries.
Jeannie Lauren, what would you use?
Oh my. I mean, there's the standard like paper towels,
Oh, okay.
Kleenex. Don't
Oh.
flush. Don't flush.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Those go in the trash.
Christy?
Oh, I think I like the sock option, but I'm also thinking there's about 1 zillion t-shirts at my house that could probably be cut up and used.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every event has at least two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's 4 people in my house that are usually at all of those events. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've got extra cloth.
Sorry,
laying around.
boy, you lost your D-Now shirt.
Yeah, sorry.
It's 10 years
Gotta
old.
give it
It's
for the
fine.
cause.
T-shirts was my answer,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I didn't think of baby wipes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Right.
if Ben or Justice leave the toilet seat up, you could always dunk, I guess. But
It's the poor man's bidet.
it's the poor man's bidet. Flush, dunk, flush. Oh, flush while you dunk,
Oh, there
swirling.
it is, the swirling.
Oh, wow.
That's a game changer.
I want you to call me when you're stuck. $10,000.
Try that at home, kids. Or don't. Okay. What animal do you identify with? If somebody says sloth, I'm gonna be like, yeah, totally. So,
Flash, 100-yard dash.
so yeah, okay, go ahead. What animal, what's your spirit animal? Right? So, I'm a porcupine.
I wouldn't even know. Maybe you should ask my family, or don't.
Badger don't care. Right? So what do you think? Animal that you're just like, that's my people.
Wow. None. We actually went to see llamas recently, and
Hmm.
they were pretty cool.
Okay.
And one of them had a lot of attitude, and
They're pretty chill. They spit on you if you don't like them.
right. I don't really spit if I don't like you, but
It's a new option.
They only have bottom teeth, though.
I'm open. Well, really?
Yeah.
wow, I
Yeah,
didn't
they don't
know.
have any top teeth, just bottom.
Okay, so
I
I
was
do
45
not want to
years old when I
identify
found
with
that
that.
No idea.
Right on. And we're educational. Our program just got a whole new designation.
But yes.
Happens when you ask the moms.
I did. I asked them all. We're like, first of all, you need to clean that up. What do you think?
Well, I've been called a cougar.
No.
I don't get the reference.
Apparently,
it's fine though.
I won't tell you why or
Because she can
how.
jump way
Why?
And she has fangs.
Rawr.
This one. and that, folks, is how we broke the internet. Chris,
You invited us all.
I did, in fact.
That's your idea.
This is not what this was going to look like last night. I'm just saying, but it amped up quickly.
I'm not an animal kind of girl.
Mm.
What do you think?
Of you?
Oh, that's dangerous.
What,
Bold question.
what's that?
Couch.
Yeah, right.
Fox.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Foxy?
No, you know what? I refer to you a lot like this.
Oh,
I
goodness.
refer to you. I'm like, she's just a pretty pit bull. She is, because she's one of those situations. You just have to know what she does for a living.
My
Like
face
she
is
was.
red. I can
I'm
feel
the
it.
sweetest person in the world, but I will crush your dreams.
That is correct.
No denial. I mean,
That's- yeah.
just look at you and be like, "No, sweetie, it's you." And yeah. So it's just calm. We're good. We're fine. I have to eat you now. And yeah, that's that.
I left work early today because of that.
Yeah, see, crushing people's dreams. Tired.
Okay.
Why not?
Thank you, Lydia.
So we have a lab mix
Oh,
dog.
Yeah.
And her two favorite things to do are eat and sleep, and so she is my spirit animal. She is my spirit animal. She doesn't just sleep anywhere. It has to be soft.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
If it's tile, she's not happy.
Not having it. when
If
not
it's a
soft.
towel, she's gonna give me a real dirty look, and she'll annoy me until I let her into her kennel with her fluffy dog bed,
Okay.
and then she eats the other dog's food. So yeah, I definitely
Just,
identify with her a lot.
yours is ours. I love it.
I mean, Cammy's not here, and there's 2 plates of cupcakes, so we'll see what happens.
Just saying. And I got the comfy seat. So we're fine. All right, dream vacation. So we'll start over here this time. Dream vacay. Dream vacay. Yep. Blank check. We're gonna take Ben. That's just a part of the deal.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm
Okay.
good with that.
Kids are optional. That's your business. Or you can sell them to pay for the vacation. Whatever.
They'd go for a lot.
I got 29
They're
cents
real
wrapped
cute.
up in
They're
mine.
pretty cute. I mean, if it's a stranger, they'll go for a lot more because they won't know their attitude yet.
Yeah,
So.
bring them back. So dream vacay.
Okay, so beach life. That's where it's at.
Okay.
I've been to the Bahamas once. Is the best place I've ever been. I would literally go back to the Bahamas or anywhere Caribbean, beachy.
Okay.
I'm simple. I mean, my
That's a good
spirit
call.
animal's a lazy eating dog. So,
it's just
beach,
umbrellas. and-
beach.
I like it.
Yeah, tropical drinks. Oh yeah, all that.
Mhm.
Sun.
What do you got?
I'm going to the beach too, but I'm going to Hawaii.
Oh,
I've never
okay.
been
Be
there,
fun.
and I want to go.
It'd be fun.
Okay. I'll talk to your husband.
Something like that happen.
Yeah, I'm saying-
Work that out.
Okay.
Tickets are cheap right now.
Oh,
That's right.
a
Now's
good
the
call.
time.
That's a
Now's the
good call.
time. So since I now have a sugar daddy, I'm gonna do a world tour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna start in Turks and Caicos because you gotta have the beach.
Yes.
And then we're gonna head over to London because I want to go back now that I'm a grown up and have a little more grown up stuff to do.
Dude,
there.
I totally forgot about that.
And then, yeah, that was another story. And then once we finish in London, we may see some more Europe, and then we can come back to the States and finish in the mountains because he kind of likes that stuff too. So we got to give him a little something that he
Yeah.
likes.
And to get so he
I
remembers it.
appreciate you throwing that in there. Be like, hey, there's some cake over here for you. Don't eat it all. Don't get greedy, kid. All right.
All right. Well, before she started, I was just going to go to Europe, but now I'm thinking I need to go to the beach first.
I mean, because Europe's a wet
actually-
place, so you need a good tan before you go because you're not
Actually,
going to get
there's
it
some
there.
good beaches
that's a
in
good
the
call.
southern part, and
Ooh, Nice, France. Oh, yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
yes. Let's go next
Okay.
week.
Field trip.
No, there's several places I would like to go throughout Europe, so I would like to do that
Okay.
in addition to the beach.
Okay. All right.
White
love-
sand.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a beach guy, so like we're in so far. I'll carry your bags, I guess. But I'd like to go to this Hawaii trip that we're speaking of here. I'd like to be in on that.
Hey, I had to bring Ben, but you didn't say anything about the rest of them.
Oh, you got to take Ben.
That ticket paid for it.
Ben's over there like, man, you'll never know I'm here. We're solid. Who keeps drinking my stuff? I think you know. All right, so we're going to play a quick game, and we're just going to be rapid fire. I have 5 questions, it looks like. I really don't know what I wrote down. It took at least a little bit of brain power going into it. But clearly I used all that up. So, all right, so we're going to start over here. It's going to be Wait What. For those of you who have heard this game or saw it on one of our things, it's just rapid fire questions. Just give me a quick answer, whatever you think when you get onto it. And if you wait too long, I'm just moving on to the next one.
Like one word answer?
Oh, sure, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. As soon as I start reading, as
no,
soon
we'll
as
catch up.
I start
Wait, what?
reading it,
Okay.
you'll figure out that you'll understand how to answer. But no, it's good. It's good. So wait, what? So here it is. So given Psalm 77:11, remember the clouds, the buckets, and the red glare, grass snake green. What does yellow smell like?
Sunflowers.
Given the state of bullhorns in Alaska, why are iPhones specifically, shaped like cheese?
You stuck what up your nose?
Oh, dang.
She's good.
What are your thoughts on that? So
I am not good at this.
if all the water froze and snails ran the earth, why can't you sneeze with your eyes open? More specifically, why is this hot dog 22 years old
I know
and still
that.
looks like this?
I know I don't know why it still looks
Preservatives.
like that, but
Why
that-
do you have that?
That's a real hot. This is student ministry, my friends.
Yes.
That's a real.
Oh,
hot
okay,
dog
here you
that
guys
someone
go.
left
Here's
on
a show and
Donnie's
tell.
car.
This is, in fact, that's the end of it. Wait, what? Okay, so that's it. That's the end of our game.
Wow.
Doesn't even
That
smell
was-
like a hot dog anymore.
It doesn't.
Almost
So
like
to tell
dirty
you guys
leather.
the story on the 22-year-old hot dog, there was a lady that I worked with at a previous church that found this hot dog in the back of an oven at a daycare and put it into my office. I didn't find it for like a year because it's my office. And finally, one day I was sitting there and I looked up and I saw this random hot dog sticking up out of a car that I had, and I thought, where did that hot dog come from?
How did you know it was a hot dog?
Because
Well,
Um,
it was
it maybe,
more fresh at that moment.
yeah.
More
and,
recognizable.
and so it has just made the cut. It is now my, and at
It's
one
huge.
point it was like 10 years ago, I went ahead and took this like little chunk off of it because there's a reason why women live longer than men, and I thought, what does that taste like?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I did.
And what did it taste like?
It tastes.
Daycare nasty?
If you smell this now, it kind of has a weird sweet smell to it. So if you took a little bit of a bite, this is what I think. I don't know what it tastes like now, but
No.
back then it kind of had a weird sweet taste and undertones of that's clearly a hot dog.
That's
I can't believe.
So anyway, You're welcome.
No, yeah.
you can never be the same.
no.
No.
And you'll never look at a hot dog again and be like, you know what that's going to look like in 22 years? Actually, yeah, I do.
Actually, I do.
All right, so scripture that I have for this, and really just thinking about you guys. Again, I was telling you earlier that this did not look like this 24 hours ago. I had just asked Christy, like, hey, you want to do this tomorrow? And she, man, the language. I'm totally kidding. She looked at me and she was, I think it was that I knew this was going to happen eventually type thing. And she was like, I guess, that type thing.
There was a long pause.
You
There
really
was-
need me
And
to.
I said, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for the kid. It's for Jesus alone. So I had to replan because once about mid-afternoon when I sent this text out to you guys to jump on this grenade with Christy, I thought, well, crud, I have to like rewrite everything because it's different now, and really this is so much better actually. So I am going to read a passage, and it's going to be out of Psalm 119 and 52, 119, 52. Can I just say that you're the only group who brought their Bibles or looks at it? This entire run that we've done this, of everybody, you guys are the first like, oh, okay, this is actually in the Bible. Okay.
Oh, I
So-
think Alan Wilson had his Bible.
Oh, did he? It was for show.
Well, that's because he's a
It was
preacher.
for show.
It's a good impression. Whatever. All right, so Psalm 119, just in verse 52, and I'll kind of get into it with this. It says, when I think of your rules from of old, I take comfort, O Lord. And part of this, and part of what made me think of you guys, and even the more I thought, I hope you guys show up. I hope you guys will do this because there's a reality. Every one of you is a little bit nervous about coming in here to do this. I got messages from multiple of what are we going to do. And I think part of the reason is because you guys have been behind the curtain for so long. You've seen so many things. And it's student ministry, so it's inherently sketchy. And everything is up for
Yes.
grabs. And what is off limits? who's watching, right? But the thing that goes into this passage, and really what got me with it, was when I think of the rules from of old, I take comfort, O Lord. And there's a group of people that, when I think of, and especially with pastors' wives, man, you're a special breed because you have to be. You're not called like maybe the pastors are, and we get this, okay? But you're called also because you walk along, man. You're the cheerleaders. You're the when we go home and we're ridiculously frustrated, you're there. You're all those things. And the reason that I think that this passage really kind of hit me, and as I was reading through it, the reason it made me think of it is in order for you guys to be like this and be that for us, you've got to be rooted in the Word, and you've got to be rooted in your own faith. You've got to know who you are and whose you are before us. And that's incredible to me, to even be a part of that. So even going home, or going to those at home that are watching, part of the reason that I think it's really a cool opportunity to have this particular group up here is I think there's a lot of times, especially in a church setting, which you don't always see this aspect of ministry, this aspect of a pastor. You don't see, you just don't see the wives. A lot of time it's in the back seat, or they're the number one volunteer because they're just up. You're the pastor, or you work at a church. And so for those at home, and why I really wanted them to see is there's some that are just, man, they're going to be you eventually. They're going to be following in your steps. They're going to be the frustrated individuals that are going to try to fight for their husbands. And I was reading an article today, in fact, as preparing for this, and I read one of the comments, and it straight broke my heart. And it was a wife of a new pastor, and they had taken over a ministry, and she just in the comments just unloaded about she's depressed, she's alone, she's frustrated for her husband, and I could just hear it, I could just feel it, you know. But that's a part of your calling as well. I think that's a part of what God equips you with, and in the Scripture. And so, one more passage, and then I have questions for y'all. And this one's over. It's Proverbs 31, passage that really a lot of us have heard. And I'm just going to 31. We're going to read 10 through 14. And there's one, actually 11, that we're just going to stall out for a second. But an excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will give her, and have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all of the days of her life. We're just going to stop there and just go to 11. It says, the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. I can tell you certainly from a pastor at a church, just even in my capacity, that I have to rely on Christy in an amazing amount. To just dig into. There's just that constant that he'd go home to. Constant to go home. And to be honest with you, there are times that as a pastor, that it's just not always fun. And it's nice to go home to somebody who's always in your corner and you trust that's going to be there. So questions to you guys. The hats that you wear, moms, there's nurses, there's crushers of dreams. I'm kidding. Christy is a mortgage loan officer. She does tell people no, but she tells a lot of people yes, and puts them in some pretty awesome houses and helps them to start a life. And so professionals. Literally been in church all your life. You've seen the ins and the outs, goods and bads, behind the curtain, whatever phrase you want to say. You've seen the celebrations, and you've seen I sure hope that never happens again. All of them. And so what I'm going to ask you guys this question is how did you get here to the pastor's thing? Reservations, I'm not going to ask you to be like, so tell me your worst church experience as a pastor's wife. 'Cause I guarantee somebody is going to log on at that moment and be like, they're talking about me. No, they're not. So just concerns, getting into man, I'm going to follow a guy. I'm going to follow him into the ministry. So not concerns. What is something you didn't expect? Just being a pastor's wife. Like, man, I sure didn't see that coming. I knew she would be that way. Her name's Karen. You see her haircut? She's guaranteed to speak to the manager, right? Not her. What else did you see coming?
Okay, this one's gonna be. So I am also a preacher's daughter,
Okay.
who once said I was not going to marry into ministry. Who would? And honestly, what surprised me, I think the most, is how much I love it.
Really?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's
That's a great answer.
There's been a lot of challenges, but there's been a lot of really awesome, encouraging opportunities, and lots of relationships built, lots of lessons learned, and I really do love. I really love being married into the ministry, I guess, which is good since I didn't want to.
Yeah.
So I think I had a heads up on all the things that were going to be annoying and frustrating a little bit, just from a childhood experience.
That's a good call.
Living at the church building was one thing I didn't want to do, and I actually enjoy it. My kids are going to hate it, so, but no. But I really I did not know that I would have such a passion, that I would be able to share my husband's passion. I think that's what surprised me the most.
Right. Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. Christy?
Am I next? I don't know that it's fair to say concerns, because I'm not sure I knew this is where we would be.
Yeah.
What did you get yourself into?
You guys all know me, and the kids out there too. Y'all know I cry every time I speak. But what's super evident to me right now is how much we miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been home and been away from each other. Like, we've been up here some, obviously, because Donnie's here, but to be in a room with this many people right now is so exciting to me, because we miss it. We miss you guys, and we miss the fellowship, and we miss the together, because, and always.
It's a T-shirt.
It'll work. But we're better together,
funny.
and
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good call.
Well, I don't know that being in the ministry was ever really on our radar. Neither one of us, we both grew up in the church. When we got married, neither one of us had any intention of doing anything in the church. And about 6 months into our marriage, Will decided we're going to go be a youth minister at this church. Huge failure. Huge failure. And so
First
we
of all,
kind
it's a
of...
vow of poverty.
He's always been bivocational. We've
Right,
never just
right.
been in a ministry by itself. And so we kind of, I want to say, tucked our tails and went back to the church we'd been at. And then we just kind of slowly evolved into where we're at now. It's interesting to see how it changes your family and your marriage, and where you end up 19 years later that you didn't expect to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
No, that's a good call. That is. I forgot that you guys were student ministry.
it was disastrous.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I don't remember the disaster. I can
Not
remember
because
that.
Will was bad at it, just the situation was bad.
Yeah.
So that
yeah.
means we've all done student ministry.
Yeah.
We didn't do it well.
I
I'm just
forgot.
saying
Okay.
it wasn't a good
No,
thing.
no.
If you did it, you did it.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
all. You have the experience.
It's like jumping off the the diving board and being like, sorry, you're still wet.
And now you know why we are in music ministry,
Yeah,
not you.
I repented and turned away. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree with Lydia in that one of the things that was most unexpected was a lot of the blessings and the opportunities to be a part of people's lives and, I mean, really become a family,
Yeah.
I guess. I'm opposite of her in that I had no background in being in the ministry, really. And I saw a lot of negative things, and so I expected bad things.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of fought it a little bit too. But that, ultimately, I just had to surrender to God, and I wanted to follow, I wanted to submit to what God was leading Bradley
Sure.
to do. So.
Yeah. In that, and all of you will to some extent do that, of probably being there, just this submission to, and it's funny. I will say this, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. Any youth pastor that is even kind of worth their salt has a wife that is rolling her eyes being somewhere. And the reality is, I think anybody who's any pastor that is worth their salt also understands that to some extent, there is one person that could do their job almost as good as they can, and they probably married them. And the thing, so there's an element of submission that's like, man, I know that you guys, I know that Christy could do my job better than I could. If there's paperwork involved, let's be honest, right? Eat junk,
For sure.
be smart, okay? But this, and I love, man, I just love your answers of, and all of your answers are these positive things. Like I just didn't expect, and you guys didn't expect how much you would love the people, that you would love the ministry. And I think that's incredible because I just don't think that that's what everybody thinks of, especially you're just an average person sitting in church. There's a lot of ministry and a lot of church that we all know that is checking a box of this is what you're supposed to do because it's Sunday, and it's different to you guys. And you've seen it though. I asked Bradley, and I'm going to ask you guys this question as well. All of you, somewhat growing up in church, okay? Just being around it. Tell me about a moment in your church from the point of pastor's wife being behind the curtain, seeing this side of it. Tell me about a moment where you just saw, like, man, that was God, and that was a cool moment. Because you guys are going to see it from a different perspective than we're going to see it. We halfway plan it. I use that phrase halfway. But you guys see it from the point of view of, man, I saw that start and I saw that happen. Does that make sense? So you see it from a different point of view. So just a moment where you just saw God. I know there's probably a ton of them. I get that. So isolating down to one.
That's tricky because there are so many. But I will say that just on a Sunday morning when the worship becomes the whole sanctuary and not just the stage or the people that have planned it, because that's where we want to go. But when the crowd, if you will, when the rest of us, I should say, join in, it's pretty amazing.
That's, I think the most often, and we I think y'all agree, we live church. Church isn't Sunday, church is life. I don't know, it feels, and I'm great with that, but, and and so sometimes, we get here and we have our Sunday morning routine, and it's life, and we enjoy it, and we're glad for it, and we know what the layout of the service is going to be, and then it's most often, I think, during worship, and not just musical worship, but that is where I most see it. But you're right, the whole congregation gets involved, and you can just look around and you can see God moving and you can feel God moving. But then, those times where people are on their knees in their pews or flooding the altar at the end of the service, and why was this Sunday different than last Sunday when people were jumping out the doors to get to not Chick-fil-A, I almost said Chick-fil-A, they're closed. But not Sunday. But it's that's definitely where I see it, is whenever a Sunday morning is pretty structured. It's a pretty structured service. You kind of know what to expect, and then the unexpected happens. And I think that's when the most often I've seen, and it's not just Sunday morning, but even just in our in our small groups with our college students, when you have the same group of kids coming every week, and you have a 45-minute to an hour discussion, and then one night it goes for 3 hours, because you just get into these deep conversations, and there's just it really, God's tugging at people's hearts, I think.
And you get addicted.
Oh,
You get
yeah.
addicted to those moments. Yeah. Left side.
You can go first.
I was thinking initially of, when people respond, and there's salvations that, like, that's so cool, especially if it's somebody that you've been praying for. That there's nothing better than that. And then also, obviously the worship that we've talked about, there's amazing times when you just feel God's presence laying, it's just heavy on you. It's amazing. But I think of times in the Bible study group that I'm a part of, when there's certain times, like you said, where it just kind of clicks, and you can just feel the spirit, and the attitudes are open. People are openly sharing their lives and the stories of transformation and how God is working, and there's just powerful God moments. I can't really say. I could, but I don't feel right sharing specific things.
That's a rough one. No, so I'm probably going to make it just a little more personal, because Sunday mornings could be rough. Everyone's trying to get out the door. The kids are being brats. You may have argued with your husband the night before, and you really don't like him right now, but you're going to go to church and you're going to smile, because that's what you do. And to sit down. Which side did you use? Because we can't share,
It's a social distance shirt.
No, I'm good. I'm not scared. I'm all right.
That's so funny.
But all that's going on, and you're not in the mood to be there. And it happens to everybody, whether you're,
Yes.
pastor's wife or not, and you don't want to be there, and you don't want to listen, and you just want to get home and finish your argument or beat the kids or whatever it is you need to do to feel better. But then you sit and you listen, and the worship hits you. And then in the middle of the sermon, you get slapped upside the head.
That's spanking.
And so,
By that one's husband, too.
sorry, no.
He steps on my toes too sometimes.
It happens to all of us, and I don't know that it's just specific. It's not a minister's wife thing. It's just, to me, that's always an amazing thing to see and to happen.
Yeah.
Because sorry,
No, you're
I
good.
think people expect us to be different.
Yeah.
That they expect everything to be fine all the time, and to not have issues with stuff, and to always want to read our Bibles and always want to study it. And
We're
it's
real
not.
people.
We're human. Yeah, we're very human, and so it's it happens to us.
Satan is at our house on Sunday morning too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
my kids are bigger now, and I don't even know if they're watching, so I'm free to say this, but Sunday mornings are rough
Yes.
when you have littles,
Oh yeah.
and it's just you because your husband is already
gone.
in church.
Yeah.
Because we don't come together.
Yeah.
because that's what staff is. But man, Sunday mornings are tough.
Yeah.
They are tough.
Yes.
That's actually what I was going to say.
They are.
Is there what we're normal. You guys are normal. You have issues. You struggle, and that's welcome to real life. And I hate that. I do hate that there are expectations sometimes that are put on you guys of somehow you're supposed to be perfect. Everything's supposed to be. You guys don't fight. You
Never.
don't do. And it's like no, we don't fight in front of you because no, you don't know. You don't need to know what I said. But you guys do this, and you just have all kind of gone into it. So, well, I'm going to ask these next two questions. We'll just kind of lump them in there together. What is? No, we'll separate them. How do you lean into God? We've gone there with sometimes it's not always great. What do you do? What do you do from y'all's point of view? It's my job to say you're just supposed to pray about it. I get it. It's true. It's facts. Read your Bible. Pray about it. I love what you said a second ago. I don't want to. God, I see you there. Submission is really not right now on the table. So how do you talk yourselves into it? How do you discipline yourself to just, yeah, but it's about God? Does that make sense? I'm asking a lot of questions. It's kind of abstract, but, ADD, so you're welcome. So what do you do? Talking to anybody at home that's struggling with, I don't want to, what would you say to them?
We talking about like on that Sunday morning when or just whatever,
Just anytime,
anytime.
just anytime. But like, I don't
If
want
it
to
is,
be great.
if it is Sunday or your night for your small group and everything's going wrong, I would say go anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Fake it till you make it. No, like I'm gonna pretend like I want to be there.
Yeah.
And by the end of the night, there's been times I've told Ben I didn't want to go. I really did not want to go. And I got there, and it was a crappy day before or a crappy day leading up to that, and I really didn't want to be there, and I really wasn't in the mood. And God refreshed me like so much, and I went and I put a smile on my face, and then it completely turned my day around. And really, I think that's part of the discipline, because we do have to have discipline in our faith in multiple ways, in our prayer life, in our Bible studying, and in our community. And we weren't created to be alone. That's why Eve was created for Adam. It wasn't good for him to be alone. And we are not created to be recluses and to pull away from other Christians especially on our hard days. Mm-hmm. Because that's where God has placed other people in our lives to encourage us. And so you go anyway. You fake it till you make it, maybe, or you don't. You go there and you cry and you tell your friends that you've had a really crappy day.
Yes.
But I think every
either way,
single
you
time
go.
you go, and I think every single time God has very specifically spoken to me and like, thank you for obeying me. I told you so. So.
Anybody else?
If it's on my own, I would say it's easy to drown yourself in social media or get busy in your emails or whatever it is you have to do. I do a lot of podcasts or praise music, or not even praise Toby Mac. But it matters what you listen to, what you're inputting into your heart, mind, and soul. It matters. Mm-hmm. And it's not a humble brag, but do a Bible reading plan. Listen to the Bible while you're exercising, or while you're not exercising.
While you're eating cupcakes.
While you're eating some of these.
by the gym listening to this Bible study was amazing. It was the best workout I've ever had. That's awesome.
No, but seriously, you have to be intentional. And sometimes
Yeah.
instead of binge watching something, you maybe listen to something. Or there's so many resources. We have no excuse right now.
Yeah.
We really don't. With the COVID thing, there are so many resources out there.
Yeah, you're right. So we're about to be up against the clock. So for those of you at home that are watching these food items that are out here, I'm afraid of my wife.
As you should be.
As
Many
I
of you
should.
have asked me, how come you're not on there, Christy? I'm like,
And I was told not to do
It's a
anything
healthy
crazy.
fear.
Do anything crazy, or I was requested, I don't want to do that, please. And Lydia is pregnant, and I think that was guaranteed to see a launch if we did something.
Yep.
So all these it's just cakes of different flavors, so there's not going to be any kind of crazy eating challenge. It's just which one do you like the best. So that's not fun. It is good though.
oh, it's fun.
It's fun.
It is
It is.
So that just telling you that as we kind of wrap this up, what would you ladies tell your teenage self or whoever, and praise God for this, whoever's watching this and might see this across the entire interweb, what would you tell teenage young lady? What would you just go back and tell them?
We could be here all night.
You left us a very short amount of time
Okay.
for teenage self.
Yeah.
Teenage self needs a lot of advice.
Facts. Yeah. The sec-
Jokingly, I want to say, run.
Yeah.
Teenagers, don't run. Please don't run away.
Please don't run.
Stay. Please stay. Please stay. I saw a post today, again on social media, but it said if you want to do something, do it. And that's kind of been in our minds with our kids lately. Like, if that's interesting to you, if you want to learn to do that, then do it.
Yes.
Obviously within reason, don't be illegal, that kind of
YOLO.
stuff. But really, if something challenges you or you think you might want to do that, then go for it.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
it. Press on and into it and try it.
Don't be afraid of failure.
Mm-hmm. You got time. You can pick yourself back
That's-
up and move on. It's
Yeah.
fine.
That's such a good call.
I think mine would be patient, but be intentional. Don't wish away, well, I want this to be next, or I want to be here in this many years, and I want da-da-da-da-da.
That's good.
But be intentional about where you're going and how you're going to get there. I feel like I had
Yes.
some wasted years in there probably. So, I mean, everybody does, but I would hope everybody does. It's not just me. But, I mean,
We're not alone.
no. I mean, that's just kind of, I think that's
Yeah.
what I would try to tell myself.
That's a good call. That for those at home, a couple things that I want you to know, and it doesn't matter age bracket that you're in, teenager, 20-year-old, 60-year-old, whatever. Press into God, and I love this. I don't think that this could have been a better time, to be honest with you. As I'm sitting here just listening, because you guys just have such a different perspective. The perspective is godly, and the perspective is chasing after God. But it's different. It's a different lens that you see it through, and I really, really appreciate y'all's heart. I appreciate what you do, not for just the church. I appreciate what you do because I see the other side. I see what it looks like to look at a man that's being propped up sometimes, and knowing that there's somebody behind them. And so that's just incredible. It's incredible to see, and thank you for being that example, and just being you, pouring into certainly churches, but more importantly, thank you for just being this example of grace and love and what it is to be godly. So that's it. Love you guys at home. Thank you for joining us and all the things that go into that. So if you have any questions or comments about anything, prayer that you need, feel free to email me. Feel free to call this church. We don't know where this video is going to find you, but just please understand that God loves you where you are. The world is, in fact, sinful and crazy. Here's this reality. Jesus is the answer. You need him. We all do. So with that, love you, and we'll see you later.